Have you spoken to Danny?
Danny was blindsided by Bill and Haley's affair.
Well, so much for stop by for a cup of coffee.
It warms my heart to see this beautiful family. I am so proud of every one of you.
Does my legacy ever feel like a burden?
It's a lot to live up to.
Now you need to remember who you are. A Dupree woman. Find your inner strength.
Once we launch my purse line, we'll be on our way to giving the Kardashians a run for their money. I'm gonna shake things up.
A cycle of anger isn't healthy.
I'll be healthy again as soon as I make a couple of cheaters pay for blowing.
A family in crisis, half-sisters at odds. Friday's episode is packed with fiery confrontations and emotional twists. The Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, November 7th, 2025, feature the inevitable Martin versus Kat blowout argument. This has been brewing for the last week. Meanwhile, Shanice stirs the pot with Ted. Is this the beginning of the Shanice and Ted era? On Friday, the Smith-Richardson family drama comes back into play. Martin, Brandon Claiborne, and Smitty, Mike Manning, caught Samantha, Nudja Jackson, making out with Nathan, Brennan Suttle, on the couch in their house. But the two fathers knew they were headed for something more serious when they found Nathan's condom lying on the floor. The two fathers ground Samantha, and Martin, in particular, takes a strict stance with his daughter, which continues when he does something drastic. The weekly teasers reveal Samantha pleading with Smitty and Nicole, Daphnee Duplaix, for help. So, will Smitty and Nicole help Samantha, or will they back Martin? Sibling showdown. The Smith-Richardson chaos included Martin eavesdropping on Samantha's private session with Nicole. He overheard his daughter admit to his mother that Kat, Colby Muhammad, was a kind of inspiration for Samantha. How she had heard Kat gush to Chelsea, Ronnie Rose Montilla, about having sex with Tomas, Alex Alegria. Well, Martin didn't take that well and promised to have a talk with his sister. So get ready for Martin and Kat to have a blowout argument. After Kat and Chelsea realized that Samantha had heard every word of their loaded conversation, the cousins tried to do damage control. Unfortunately, their words didn't stick with Samantha. So now Kat has some explaining to do. Will Martin and Kat be able to work things out? Look for Kat to have a bad day all around when she also has a confrontation with her half-sibling. The weekly BTG video preview lays out that part of the story. She learns that Eva, Amber Michele, her half-sister whom she despises, now calls Ted Dad. It's too much for Kat, and she tells Ted, "Well, I hope you enjoy the one daughter you have left, because you can't have both of us." Ted, Keith D. Robinson, has been working overtime to establish a relationship with Eva. When will Ted work to repair the damage that his secrets, lies, and affair caused to his relationship with Kat? Tough love. Finally, Shanice, Ernestine Johnson, stirs the pot with Ted. The supervising nurse is always in the right place at the right time. She sees and overhears a lot of drama. And, thankfully, she isn't one to keep her opinions to herself. She must give Ted a healthy dose of her brand of tough love, which he desperately needs, by the way. But we can't help but wonder if this could be the beginning of something more developing between Shanice and Ted. After all, BTG's upcoming holiday-themed episodes will feature Shanice and Ted entering each other's orbit in a way that's more than professional. Bring it on. Why this matters. This week's arc is a turning point for the show's central power structure. For months, Bill has been the anchor of the Hamilton/Richardson clan. Martin, while complicated, has been in the wings. But when an older generation figure weakens, the younger one moves in. That generational shift raises stakes in multiple ways. Narrative tension. The audience has seen Bill strong, so watching him decline adds dramatic weight. It also gives Martin's ascent real danger. If he grows too powerful, what does Bill do? Character development. Bill's vulnerability humanizes him, or exposes his flaws, and gives new dimensions to Haley, who may be more villainous than before. For Martin, it tests his moral compass. Is he doing this for the good of the family or for power? New alliances and enemies. A new regime means new players climb. Old loyalties break, and new threats emerge. Bill's weakened state invites outside opportunists, while Martin's strong posture makes him a target. Family/foundation theme. The show thrives on the interplay of family loyalty, secrets, ambition, betrayal. This week crystallizes those themes, when loyalty is tested by strength and weakness. Watch Bill's physical cues: shaky hands, fatigued expressions, avoidance of confrontation. These small things will signal his decline. Observe Martin's tone, whether soft or hard. He's been conflicted. Now he may outwardly appear composed, even ruthless. Does his voice shift? Does his body language echo a new authority? Look for power artifacts. Meeting rooms, who sits where, who gets invited. If Martin is now seated where Bill used to be, symbolic shift. Notes on alliances. Who shows up with whom? Bill's old allies absent? Martin's new ones visible? Haley's behind-the-scenes moves. Since Bill is incapacitated, subtler players like Haley become more visible. Watch for her making deals, showing up at locations off-screen threads. Reaction of secondary characters. Danny/Andre's decision may tie into this shift. Ashley's break from Derek may mirror similar themes. Weakness versus strength, empowerment versus letting go. In short, the week of November 10th to 14th on Beyond the Gates promises to be a consequential one. Bill Hamilton begins to lose his grip. Health, influence, legacy all at risk. While Martin Richardson seizes the moment to tighten control, setting off a cascade of shifting alliances, internal battles, and moral reckoning. The stage is set for a new era at Fairmont Crest, and viewers will see that era begin to crack open in very visible ways. If you like, I can pull scene-by-scene breakdowns for each day, November 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14, based on the spoiler reveals. Would you like that? This week on Beyond the Gates, Leslie found out the identity of her mother. Smitty and Martin opened their house to June, Tyrell, and Samantha's biological mother. Nicole slapped Ted with divorce papers and went on a date with Ted's practice partner, Carlton. In addition, Kat and Tomas remained out of step with each other. Chelsea and Madison dealt with creepy Allison. Next week, Chelsea may be in serious trouble. Leslie's luck may take a turn for the better. And Vernon calls on the true fixer of the Dupree family. But this time, Bill has learned his lesson. According to the teasers, this week will also trigger bad blood between Dana, Leslie Thomas, and Anita Williams Dupree. Leslie learns her luck may have just changed. Doug doles out advice for Ted and some critical information to Jacob. Ashley calls on Shanice to help Derek. Naomi relays some heartbreaking news. Martin and Smitty deal with an intruder. Anita is forced to relive painful memories from her past before grappling with information that will affect her future. Eva has a stunning revelation to share with Tomas. Anita and Leslie go head-to-head. Andre rushes to the hospital after hearing about Derek and is surprised by Ashley's reaction to seeing him. Nicole has a major relationship update to tell Kat. Vanessa meets with a new client who has lofty demands. Vernon calls Bill for help, but Bill has some demands that need to be met first. Danny dishes out some conditions of her own to Andre. Danny and Naomi receive terrible news from Anita and Vernon. Ted seeks out Bill's legal expertise. Kat and Chelsea have a heart-to-heart before their big launch party. An assailant comes out of the shadows to attack their target. Yup, Peaches confirmed it in the Friday, August 15th episode of Beyond the Gates. Barbara Mitchell, the OG articulate, is Dana Leslie Thomas's mother. She's tied to Anita's story forever, and that fact isn't going to sit well with the Dupree matriarch.